here will reverberate through the ages. Not because the change they won was preordained, not because their victory was complete, but because they proved that nonviolent change is possible, that love and hope can conquer hate. As we commemorate their achievement, we are well served to remember that at the time of the marches, many in power condemned rather than praised them. They were called communists, or half-breeds, or outside agitators, sexual and moral degenerates, and worse. They were called everything but the name their parents gave them. Their faith was questioned. Their lives were threatened. Their patriotism challenged. And yet, what could be more American than what happened in this place? What could more profoundly vindicate the idea of America than plain and humble people, unsung, the downtrodden, the dreamers not of high station, not born to wealth or privilege, not of one religious tradition, but many coming together to shape their country's course? What greater form of patriotism is there? That's why Selma is not some outlier in the American experience. That's what this movement was all about. One leg in our long journey toward freedom. Loving this country requires more than singing its praises or avoiding uncomfortable truths. It requires the occasional disruption where the powerless could change the world's greatest power and push their leaders to expand the boundaries of freedom. And that's what the young people listening all across the country must take away from this day. You are America, unconstrained by habit and convention, unencumbered by what is, because you're ready to seize what ought to be. And it is you, the young and fearless at heart, the most diverse and educated generation in our history, who the nation is waiting to follow. Because Selma shows us that America is not the project of any one person. Because the single most powerful word in our democracy is the word we. Our march is not yet finished.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening. Good evening.
I'm grateful to be here.
I was just thinking about you.
We thank you, Karen Reese, for everything that you do to provide this awesome platform for us. This is Queen Ella, and of course, we have Brother Elder Bilal, Bynum, and Marvin, and the Greens, Mrs. Sister Green. I've had a time working on getting on here. Hey, Miss Joyce, how you doing?
Hello.
That's my friend there. So a little history here. We all go back to their older sister, who was my business teacher, Mrs. You know the night I'm not. What's your sister?
Waters.
Miss Waters. You know, it has been a week. I am so super excited to be here tonight. I'm launching out into my ministry, and I've got a conference to go to. But tonight we're going to go on topic of what we just seen on how the country is still yet not moving forward from 2008. I believe that speech was given when?
2021.
Okay, that was given 2021, but Obama was in office in 2008.
Right.
The change has still never happened. So Oh boy, I'm gonna let you, Elder Bynum, because I'm trying to woosah a little bit. I've had my challenges this evening, but I don't want to go any further in that. So, if you can go ahead and open up tonight on the
Yeah,
topic and lead us in.
thank you so much, Miss Woods. As a matter, of course, I want to announce, but before I make this announcement, I got a call this morning. I got two calls.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, those of you who listened to yesterday's radio show, you know, we talked about securing because of what's happening over in Europe. We talked about what do we do and what actions do we take because we're living in such a dangerous time. So from our conversation, and we had a conversation for 2 hours. But from that conversation this morning, I got two calls from and both are females, and the females are saying, "Brother Bynum, we need leadership. We need someone," and of course they were all from Black Wall Street leader, Reverend Carter. And like they said, we left Reverend Carter because we didn't see any advancements. But at the same time, now that all this danger is going on around us, we're looking for what they were looking for is they were really looking for help, and their concerns were, look, we as women, we're ready to fight the battle. I mean, it knocked me down. And they said that we're ready to fight the battle. We're not going to wait on our black men's because we don't have any confidence in our black men's. So therefore, we only thing we're asking is that we need somebody to train us in how to use weapons and how do we fight? How do and she's saying, I know a bunch of women in her group, and all of them are saying the same thing, that they're ready to take up arms and go to battle. And I'm saying, my goodness, these are females talking to me, and they're talking about putting the men's to the side. They're going to fight for the men's. And I said, sister, hold on. Let me I tell you what. Let's start tonight, and we will bring on some veterans. And I know it was late in the game, but I did call some veterans, and they said that as many of them said that they were going to come on. If they didn't come on tonight, they're definitely going to be coming on next Wednesday. And my reason saying let's call some veterans is because if the community wants to be trained how to, and we're talking about a simple basic training, then the veterans are the ones that can do that. And so I told them, I said, I would suggest that what you do is the men's that you're talking about putting behind you and fighting for them, tell those guys to join the conversation because once and tell them to join the conversation because we'll have veterans on who will be willing to give them the proper training and make them the type of unity that they would need to have in order to be peacekeepers. So that was a conversation that, and it's been with me all day thinking about it. And Brother Marvin, you know exactly what I'm talking about here. And so again, and I asked you to share in this conversation with me. And then at the end of our quick briefing here, I will go ahead and give out some information on the Jubilee March that's coming up March the 3rd to March the 6th which I'm planning on driving down. I know it's about a 12 or 14-hour drive, but hey, that's what jumping in a car and driving is all about. But the cause is worth it. And I know one of the speakers is going to be, again, I want to have veterans, and especially now I know tonight I had a brother of mine's a brother-in-law, and he's a colonel. So again, I was bringing in, but again, the colonels are fine. But when you're really talking about good basic training, you want to call in your sergeants. So again, Brother Marvin, what do you think about, and what's your comments on just about what I'm talking about?
Okay, is that on? Okay, all right. Yeah, I'm definitely with you, and to have an officer over me, I have big respect for delegated authority. Um, but when we put anything together, what we need to do is not have uh, what we would call an independent spirit. An independent spirit. Um, I want to show you the book that my Archbishop has. 1 second. It's you walking in the spirit. 1 second. 1 second.
Take your time. And while the brother is going, that I remind everybody about the Jubilee, the John Lewis Jubilee March, and of course that's going to be held March the 3rd to March the 6th. And if you go on the website, you would be going on the website, and that would be the selmajubilee.com.
Mm-hmm.
I'll repeat, website, and that would be the Selma, and that's SELMA Jubilee, JUBILLE.com. So you can go on the website and get all the information you need about the John Lewis Jubilee March. Brother Marvin, I see you back. Go right ahead.
Oh yeah.
We can't see you, Elder Bynum. It's so dark.
Okay.
Let me see. We cut on the light.
Yeah, you need one of
Go
those
right
rings.
ahead. I'll get a light on it.
So go ahead, Marvin, so we
Okay.
can hear what you've got.
All right.
You look pretty.
Do everybody see this picture?
Mm-hmm. Spiritual protocol.
Spiritual protocol. And the men in the back, their eyes are closed, and that says that they're faithful and that they'll follow their leader. Now, veterans, we have to be the way we were when we was in the service. And that's the big point that we have to get back into. We have to be the way when we was in the service, we followed orders. And that's what being a veteran is all about. When we get veterans in the group, they have to be ready to follow orders. Like the Muslim. You see them when Mr. Farrakhan,
Mm-hmm.
you can see that everybody's in line. You can see that there's protocol. You can see that there's respect for who your officer is or who your sergeant is. And and when I was in the Marine Corps, I followed delegated authority. And it seems as though when veterans come out, we got to get that spirit back in us. We got to get the spirit back in us because we definitely can make a difference. I mean, we definitely can make a difference because there are thousands of veterans. With thousands of veterans, we can put judges, on stands. We could make our own banks, but we got to be in order. We got to be able to follow who's ever over us. We are following Queen because she's the one that has put us together, and whoever the delegated authority is, be ready to be faithful and be ready to be honest. And when you say that you're going to do something, don't drop your word.
Amen.
That's what it's
I
about.
like that. That's very well said. Karen has this show every week. Of course, right now we're having an issue with the Facebook. We can't really get our voice out here to the public, but we do want to make sure we redo this maybe next Thursday because we need to figure out what's going on. And then I'm hoping that by then we'll have things together. Now, like you said, spiritual protocol. Now, we know my daughter just enlisted with the Navy. When they give them their orders and they go in there to do their signing in and everything, she's in boot camp as we speak. She had certain things that they had to be in a compliance with. See, when we're looking at the spiritual world, we don't deal with the natural world. Okay. The spiritual world, we have to now take because there's a scripture that says since the beginning of times, the heavens suffered violent and the violent took it back by force. Now, when we're looking at the spiritual side of things, we can speak a whole lot in the natural, but if don't make no sense, that's still just like our last conversation. We still gotta still make right, even make a ways to even become a still vote to have our voters right. Even though there's a march going to be on Selma, Selma is probably the most when I look at real estate because I've been in it so long, it's the poorest of poor when it comes to Alabama. I live in Georgia right now. I'm not, but probably barely an hour and a half from Selma, if that, maybe two at the most. So when I look at the statistics, there's been no work done, none. And right now, when it's dealing with blacks in politics, we've got to be strategic. There's no more the veterans of this world. I remember the song back in the day, I am on the battlefield for my Lord. I'll fight until I die. I'm on the battlefield for my Lord. So we had groups. Why didn't we keep going with the Black Panthers? We had militant groups out here. I mean, we got Farrakhan, and yes, we've got the first officers. They all have their delegated troops and their team, their ground troops. But now we're in a crisis. We're in a worldwide crisis now. I'm talking about Russia. I mean, I know a lot of Romanians. They live in this country. Half of the Romanian community are gypsies. Okay. So when we look at the world we have created, the black men, we know that at this point, somewhere it's got to give. And I was sharing a while back because I was one of the calls to Elder Bynum and basically representing the movement. Because, I'm in Georgia. We have a Black Wall Street, what they call a building. Then they have stuff in there. They don't have no OW girly anything. But these black men took $70 million and they redid a Kmart here. And they call it Black Wall Street, New Black Wall Street Marketplace. Mm-hmm. That's not a movement. See, us moving now, we got to move not only in silence, but we got to be like armed and ready in the spirit.
Yes.
because the
Yes.
natural ain't done nothing in over 50-something years, and I'm 55, okay? Martin Luther King, he was marching before I was born and conceived.
Mhm.
And at this point, we know about a lot of the militant groups because I'm a history major. Right now, where we're gonna have to come back in here, the next time we get on here, we need the screen to be full. We need at least 12 to 10 delegates that can be on here. That way we can touch. We may not be able to come in with this side because right now we got Facebook being in a different place, just like playing music. They don't want the truth. People don't want to hear the truth. I'm talking, my last video got 48 views, but I get thousands of views most of the time. I told people, don't look at my page. I want you off if you cannot spread this word, because right now people are sleeping. They're waiting for something, but what is the something? We can talk about the movement going down there to Selma, but what's going to happen after that? Are we going to get this petition done so we can get this act passed? Because remember, I told you an act is like, that's in stone. Those are like the 12 commandments. Those are on stone. Bills passed can be declined. But and that's why we're having the voters' right bill is not what we're looking for now. We're looking for the act to be passed, because then we don't have to do the work again. Because those same 10 commandments are still there. The same sun hangs today that hang back then. We know that no man knows the creator, but we know him, those that are in the spirit, because he talks to us. He walks with us. There's going to have to be a forefront of a movement with the women. And I'm saying, when I look at the things that we did with Black Wall Street, the women were very important to that movement. Because the men, they can't reproduce, but we can. And at the end of the day, the men going to have to give us the grace to go forward and not be intimidated. Because that's where the shutdown has been. The intimidation of the Black man from the Black woman. But we got to know that we know in this season. That's why I appreciate the Greens, because they've been really, when I say they honor their word, when I went up the Northeast, we had the Nor'easter. Not one of those people on that Northeast side was there available. And if they did, I had to travel. And even though I traveled, these people, they came out, and Mount Vernon is very freezing cold up there, but they came out and they were in their community. He knows the mayor of Mount Vernon. I've met the first, the president of the Veteran Affairs, food pantries. I've seen a lot of things. That's why spiritual pro, they know that I'm diligent. I ain't asked a person for $1. See, that's the problem with us as Black people. They don't honor themselves, and they won't pay the cost for nothing. That's they relying on a myth. And right now, this is called action. And in order for us to take, I don't mind being there March the 3rd, my mama's birthday the 4th, so I'm definitely grateful to be here. But I still want to know, because I had somebody ask me, so what they walk on in Selma? What's going to be the change? What's going to happen after the 6th? Are you going to have congressmen there? Are you going to have your senators there? Those people we put in office, are they going to be there? We don't just need Democrats, we need Republicans, because see, a nation divided can't stand. We're such a divided. And why are we fighting when we have NATO? We have the UN. Why are we sending our children over to a country that they already live here in our country? It don't even make sense. It's all about $1. So when we learn our history, we can march on Selma. We can call it Jubilee. What's going to happen on the 7th day? Do we have plans? I see Karen speaking in the background, but she had something else she had to do, she stated. But this is where our next meeting needs to be some mandates put in place that on the 7th, we got people that, because see, as I look at building the Black Wall Street Connections group, because you have the Black Wall Street Belt. This ain't business now. This is kingdom business. This is we setting
Mhm.
people on the ground, and we taking up armed forces. I'm vetted people, and we not playing. So, Queen is in charge right now of a mantle that God gave me, the Creator. That mantle, I don't play when it comes down to His business. I'm getting ready to go to a women's conference where there's getting ready to be some stuff going down, but I'm gonna put this march on the table because we need heaven to answer this prayer. Because man on earth can't
Mhm.
do this alone. What we're about to face in this war, it's not the real war, it's a pseudo war, it's just a fake one. Because the great one to come is Great China, the Red China. That's the great one. But they not our enemies, remember. But they in our country. See, now we
Well,
got to figure out, since we're in their country and we were not from this country, how do we as a people take precedence? Because the Ku Klux Klan, they doing them. That's their military. Why don't we have a?
mhm.
Why didn't we fight to have a force like that? I'm talking about our 60 men and women. What happened for
Mhm.
the breach to be there that we couldn't stand up as a people? How could they keep killing our babies? Why are we allowing this to happen when we are the minority in the country? Where does
So,
the buck stop? I don't
sister,
want to
you
hear.
know,
I love
si-
Farrakhan. I apologize. I love Farrakhan. I don't care about any of them other people that's been in these offices getting this government money because they ain't doing nothing to make change. We got
mhm.
the NAACP and not where are they? We've got the Rainbow Coalition. Where are they? No, if I gotta speak alone, but I need people to back us up, all of us. We can talk tonight, but we need people that will back us when we get to the front line. Because I'm getting ready to make my voice is going to be heard. And I
Mhm.
really don't care. I already know when you're a martyr, if you know that word, what it means, that means you died for this cause. See, Martin Luther King, he died for the cause. They always kill us off. Well, who's going to be there to protect us this season? They're now showing us that they will condemn white people. Yesterday, we made a really great place within the, whether we're going to call it regular white people, okay, not the police, because we did that with what's his name, George Floyd. We still ain't getting enough time. They need to be hung like they did us. Where will we come in and have people that will go to the Capitol and speak on those topics? So we need to now come together and be consistent on getting our ground troops on the ground, making those people we vote for become responsible for us getting them in
Mhm.
office. You're just not going to hold the office because you want to hold the office. We had two people that turned down the act when they know that's the right thing to do for people in America, the colored people, black, whatever you want to call us. That is the right thing to do. So if we're going to be marching on Selma for Jubilee, and that means on the seventh day, we need to make something happen. Something needs to change. And that's where fasting and praying, not being like the sinners in the synagogue that have their face low, because we know there's scriptures that speak about that. But we need to do some spiritual food fasting because this March here needs to be, if it's gonna, I don't care if it's, they say one can lay 1,000, two can lay 10,000, three can lay 100,000, and four can lay 1,000,000. I don't give a doggone if it's 10 there. That means we got legions that we can send a flight and we can walk on in over to the promised land because this country is ours. We built it. Our sweat, blood, and tears. You guys, we appreciate you serving the country, but we also know you couldn't do nothing either unless they said so. Because I watched a movie called The 14th, and they hung 19 of our guys, and they court-martialed the rest of them. They died in prison for what? Standing up for righteousness? Whose Bible are they reading? How do you have white people killing black people today and it's okay? That
Sister,
voice
man,
is so.
sister, if you don't mind,
I'm done.
there is no, and no, and I like for us to just continue talking and continue, but I would like to say that there was a change in our community all over. You see, during you talk about the Martin Luther King March. You talk about the Black Panthers. Uh, 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 that's who the reasons that we got our civil rights was because our generation, and Brother Marvin can contest to this. He was there. Our generation, we came up through segregation, and when we got the spirit to have our civil rights, we didn't ask for our civil rights. We didn't beg for our civil rights. We had, you're right, the Black United Front. We had so many, in other words, as Black peoples, we loved ourselves as Black peoples. That's where Black and Proud and all of this came from, was from us. We love our Blackness. And not only, and the show that we loved our Blackness, we was willing to die for it, and many of us did. Even though we had a war in Vietnam, that didn't stop anything. You're right, Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. I mean, you had so many, but it wasn't so much our leaders that bought us our civil rights. It was the young generation that said we was Black and we was proud, and then you had this situation when they, in other words, we was at war. There was nothing serious about the riots in all of these cities. I can't tell you how many cities when they assassinated not so much our leaders, but when we wanted to, the Civil Rights Bill was passed because white folks knew that Black folks was ready to fight and die. And the evidence was damn near every city in this country was on fire. Yes, so when it came to the civil rights that we have today, the voting rights, there was no such thing as a white Republican or a white Democrat or a white anything that was going to tell Black folks at that time that you can have your civil rights. As a matter of fact, after we got those civil rights, and I don't know if you remember this, Brother Marvin, but during the 70s, and this is how many of us had come home from Vietnam at that time, things were so good in this country as far as equal rights until Black folks, not white folks, were saying, you know, everything is, we don't have any more racism. We don't have it because, and no one, the Ku Klux Klans or the white supremacists, they didn't dare. There was no such thing as policemen going out here because, again, they know Black folks was going to fight back.
That's correct.
But
if you can, because we got 2 minutes, so I'm gonna have you give that website.
I'm gonna make it real fast.
Okay.
But what happened is that the civil rights came where you guys started going to white schools, and when you started going to your white schools, you didn't pay us Black folks any attention anymore. Everything was about what the white teachers taught you guys. And so the Black community, this thing of Black and proud of just being Black, diminished, and at this point it has disappeared. And as a matter of fact, you start talking about the Black males, and the females now are wondering where the Black males are in the communities that would protect. We protected our women back in those days. But Today, you got white males, black males that go to school with these white women, and they don't even the black woman and the white man is pissed off because they don't. Half the time they can't even mate with their own kind. They can't get a date because the white woman and the black man is having a ball with each other, and it's still going on. So this is why we have this this attitude with our females, and I can understand. And this is also why you have the hate with the white male, because we done took his woman. And so
well, we're gonna conclude on that on another day because we got 1 minute and the priest got to be.
We can, but like I said, we have to bring back that black unity.
Yes,
all
definitely.
over again, because again, integration, and you guys going to these white teachers, you guys left the black communities. Matter of fact, most of them don't even want to be black anymore. So we didn't do it.
No, it was generational.
Didn't have anything to do with black folks, and they didn't pay us no more attention. Not at all. But I can tell you one thing. Like I said, Brother Marvin sitting right there. We don't have to be with each other, but we have the unity with each other. The only thing that is, we're old now. Age is caught up with us. And the white folks know this. So when it comes to the baby boomers, white folks ain't trying to mess with baby boomers too much. It is the younger generation that they're going after, because you guys don't have the unity that
Elder
we
Bynum,
have.
real quickly,
Yes,
because we're out of time now.
No, because Wednesday, like I said, my
Elder
show
Bynum,
Wednesday.
the Greens have to leave, and they got to call. They got to be on at 8, and it's 8 o'clock. But Karen is gone, so we're gonna go ahead and come back next week on this. And definitely, thank you for allowing us to be here with you, Elder Bynum. And I guess let's chat after this, so that way we can at least plan everything for next week. And we thank every viewer that was able to attend via YouTube, because it did still go off over there. It's just that Facebook is not really allowing us to do any talk about politics right now. But thanks so much. I appreciate you black men that are in the cut, though. I'm going to tell you, because there's nothing like a powerful black man that stand by his word. And I know both of you both are ethical and by your word. So thank you again. And y'all look great. Have a great evening. And I'll talk to you later. I'll give you a call tomorrow, Elder, okay? And Marvin, I know y'all got to be on y'all call. Did you have any? Because I got to cut the broadcast. Can't hear you.
Okay. I have to meet with my deacons now.
Right.
So and my wife is on the phone with the church. So, hey, sir, you on the point? I'm with you. I'm with you. I am with you.
We know, Brother Marvin. We got to get them with us.
Yes, sir.
Well, we got to try to get them out there to Selma so y'all can meet. All right. Peace and blessings, everybody.
Yes.
Good night.